Hello guys and welcome to your Birmingham Fan TV after match review show sponsored by Ball Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. First, a quick apology and I apologise for the lack of content. Over the last week we have missed match previews, match reviews, and the podcast had to be taken down because it simply was not good enough. It was not to the standard. I have not been able to do what I can usually do. I've lost my voice. Emily's been extremely under the weather and we've just not been able to do the show. So I can only apologise for that and I can thank you for your patience, guys. We've tried, we've filmed, but it's just not been good. So I'm half on the mend, so we're going to give this one a crack and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be good enough. Congratulations to Joe Morris, who was the winner of our competition last week for the 2 tickets for the Middlesbrough game, which was supplied by our sponsors Ball Sports. So congratulations to Joe on that one, and don't forget to head over to our social medias and follow us over there for the next giveaway, which will be for the next home game. We are going to try and do one on YouTube. We just need to figure out the right way of doing it, guys, so be patient. If you don't use social media, you will have your opportunity, no problem whatsoever. Don't forget to like this video, guys. A massive result last night. Like it down below. It was a big result for Blues. Comment your thoughts on everything we speak about down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the latest content coming out of Birmingham Fan TV, because it is starting to skyrocket now, guys. So don't forget, you don't want to miss any of this. So Emily, Birmingham City 2, Middlesbrough 1.
Wow.
What a fantastic result. What a fantastic evening. And that was the perfect tonic after the last 3 games, was it not?
It was. The last 3 games previous had been inconsistent, is probably the best word. Against Derby, we did have spells of being absolutely excellent. We very much nearly came back from being 2-0 down. So we definitely had flashes in that game of very good. But against Preston and Wigan, we were just terrible.
Yeah.
So I think yesterday was definitely what we needed to boost us back up and keep us going for the rest of the season, because if things had been going the way they were against Wigan and Preston, I don't think that things would be where they are right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Obviously, we talk about the inconsistencies. It's been Birmingham's biggest problem this season. We've seen flashes. We've seen Charlton. We've seen Bristol City.
Yeah.
We've seen Stoke for the last 20 minutes. We've seen several games where we've thought, and Derby as well.
Yeah.
Good, solid performances where we've lost some of them, we've won some of them, we've drawn some. I think nobody's moaned.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone, that was fine. We enjoyed watching that. We just need to sort it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But there were signs. And then we'll go to the next game and it's 1 on, 1 off. We'll play one where we're fine, the next 1 off. And if we can find that rhythm, I feel that we've got a good chance going into the next, after the next international break. So that was the perfect one, obviously, to finish on before the international break, because you don't want to lose and go into an international break, because then you dwell on it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, it's not so good. So we'll talk about the lineup. And he made one change from Tuesday night's game at Wigan. He went with the same back 5. He went with Camp at the back 4 of Maxime Collan, Mark Roberts, Harley Dean and Christian Pedersen, which now he seems set on again.
Mm-hmm.
That back 4, the same back 4, other than obviously Roberts for Morrison that Monk went with last year.
Yeah. Which
I think is our best back 4 that we've got. A midfield 4 of Dan Crowley, Ivan Sunjic, Jude Bellingham and Fran Villalba, and the forward 2 of Ara Jimenez and Lucas Jukovic. Was it genius or was it risky?
I think you could swing either way on that one. From the result, it was absolutely genius. I think it was almost a do or die moment. Pep needed to stamp his authority and say, this is what I want to do. This is what I've been trying to do all season. And now I'm just going to go for it. And it worked. Mm-hmm. Putting Bellingham in a more natural position for him rather than being on one of the wings was brilliant. And we just played fantastically. The system seemed to work. Everyone seemed to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. And it just clicked. And it's almost like we've been seeing flashes of it all season and been hoping that it would come together.
We'd get the 90 minutes.
Yeah, but it hadn't, and we kept going one good, one bad, one good, one bad. And then last night something clicked and it just worked. So for me, that lineup was genius.
Yeah, I agree. I think I tweeted to a few of you guys. Obviously, people were saying the thoughts on the lineup, and I said it's either going to click and we're going to look absolutely fantastic tonight, or we're going to get steamrolled. Mm-hmm. And thankfully, It was good. It worked excellently. We know that Jude Bellingham's naturally gifted. We know that he is. So, he's played a lot of games, especially for England, in that number 8 position in the midfield as more of the advanced central midfielder. He looked natural there. He looked like he'd been playing there for 10 years, didn't he, last night?
It's crazy that kid, everyone keeps saying it. It's almost like the Ryan Sessegnon, everyone kept saying his age every single minute of the game. But he is only 16. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And there's so much raw talent there. But that says a lot, really, doesn't it, about our academy and the philosophy that we have of playing a young style of football with a lot of youth in the team, and shows the ethos that we have in the academy to create brilliant players.
Yeah, I agree. So obviously the age of the midfield yesterday was 21, 22 and 16. Incredibly young midfield. We were up against an incredibly experienced midfield that Middlesbrough do have, and they dealt with it. So in fact they dominated. Doesn't that show, obviously, again, the ethos that the club's trying to bring through the young players, and they're putting a lot of faith in it, and is it going to start to pay off from now?
I think so. I think, if I'm completely honest, a lot of our youth are better than our previous season starting 11. I'd very much like to see Odin Bailey play a lot more, and Jude obviously is going to be massive this season for us.
Yeah.
But I think it shows that, like I said, that we are really investing in the youth, because a lot of people say this all the time, we need to invest in grassroots football all the way up to make sure that we create a great standard of football in this country. And Birmingham are really taking a forefront in that. We really are creating a great academy. We've expanded academies. This season we've had camps in Gloucestershire, Worcestershire, and I think it was Warwickshire as well. So it's all this sort of stuff. We're trying to get the youth involved more in football, not just in the city centre, but expanding now to areas where there isn't as much football. So that really shows how important the club as a whole are finding the youth, and it's now showing in the first team.
Yeah, no, I agree. First 45 minutes, absolutely outstanding. Best 45 as well that I've seen down Blues in a few years. It's been a while. I did tweet yesterday, when was the last time that you saw a Blues team run at teams like this? I think it was the 3-0 against Middlesbrough under Houghton. When was the last time you saw teams run at, Blues team run at teams? That was getting close to it. It wasn't quite as good as the Houghton Dome, but it was pretty darn good. We could have been 4 up by half time. We had several attempts on goal, 2 or 3 excellent saves by former keeper Darren Randolph, and a couple of shots hit the bar, hit the post. But obviously the breakthrough did come. Fran Villalba hasn't really hit the ground running for Blues. I think he showed a lot of what he's got, but hasn't quite managed to find his rhythm, his feet as such. But he had an excellent game last night.
I've been very hypercritical of Fran Villalba because he was tagged to be the next big thing in the summer. We saw one good game from him, and then he sort of dipped off a little bit. Maybe that was to do with the injury that he picked up, or the fact he was being played out of position. But you stick him on that wing, and my God, does that kid fly. He was fantastic, created so many chances. I'm sure we'll stick the stats up to my side here. He created so many chances. He was always on the attack. And that goal, that I really hope has given him the confidence boost that he needed now.
Yeah.
And this will keep him going throughout the season. And the fact that we've now got a midfield that can score goals, wow, I love it. It's taken the pressure off our strikers, because we have really only got 2 full in and out strikers. Yeah. So to take the pressure off them and to be scoring from the midfield is fantastic. And that goal from Villalba was class.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 13 shots from Blues altogether in the first half, 4 on target, 161 passes we managed to complete in that first half, and 7 take-ons. Fran Villalba's overall performance yesterday in the game, 2 shots on target, 3 off target with 1 goal, 33 passes out of 42 completed in the whole game, 2 chances created, 14 out of 18 attacking third passes, and 3 out of 4 take-ons in the whole game. So I look at the stats every game. That's quite high for someone that did he complete the full 90? I don't think he did he? No, he was taken off.
He was taken off as a sub.
So how good was Fran Villalba yesterday? Obviously starting the move for the goal, picking the ball up in midfield, spreading it wide to Colin, and managing to find the space. But not only that, but his overall game as well. He managed to complete obviously a lot more passes. He took on a lot more players. Is his confidence obviously boosted? Has something happened, obviously, off the pitch to boost his confidence? Because he started the game electric, didn't he, as well? Obviously, it wasn't just the goal.
I don't know whether it's something that's happened off the pitch that could be. I think it's probably he's been put in a position that works for him best.
Yeah.
But yesterday, the whole team seemed to be set up in a way that was suitable for them. And that shows really how important it is to play the players that we've brought in their correct positions, because they are magnificent.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Villalba, he took the game to them, and that's something that we've been shouting out for him to do all season, because that's what we wanted from him. He really put a shift in yesterday. He was electric. He was fantastic. He was exciting. He was the winger that we almost wanted Hotter to be, but never really continuously did that. So hope if Fran can continuously do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I completely agree. We started the second half well. We kicked on from where we left off. My biggest worry was that half-time was going to kill the momentum. It didn't. We started the first 10 minutes well. But Borough started to get a grip in the game. 60 minutes, they had about 25 minutes of not solid pressure, but they had a lot more of the ball without actually hurting us. Then the goal comes, 85th minute. I said to you at half-time, I can feel a goal coming from Middlesbrough, and it will be the most unjustified goal I've seen down here in a long time. And it did happen. Daniel Ayala poking home. Holly Dean, a few people have pointed out that, he was at fault for that goal, which I think he's already tweeted, I owe you Odin, in one of his tweets. I thought he was much better last night, Harley. Much, much, much better. But he's got to learn sometimes when to put his foot through the ball.
I think it was hugely disappointing. When there's an attack like that, to not clear the ball is almost idiotic. Because Middlesbrough have some quality in their team. They've not done that well this season so far, but they have quality in their team.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the momentum they were gaining throughout the game, they were knocking on the door. We were doing very well to keep them out. I was horrified by watching him not clear it.
Mm-hmm.
And that very much, he could have cost us the 3 points.
He could have. He could well have. I think it would have been harsh to stick all the blame on him again, because for 80 minutes, him and Roberts were awesome.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
No.
He was very good throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
But as an experienced central defender, at that point in the game, you should know to put your foot through it and put it into Rosette.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree. He needs to sometimes just even stab it behind for a corner, take another corner, get everyone back, just defend that corner. So obviously, at 1-1, I had a funny feeling though that I felt that we could go and have another couple of opportunities even after 1-1. I felt it. Something in the air that night was... And Blues didn't let up. They kept going. I thought it showed great mentality to keep going.
That's what we want. We want Blues to put their all in and give it everything, and they did. I think it really, really, really shows that it did click last night, because no matter what was thrown at us, we battled against it. We managed to overcome it.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of a good team, not just individual players, a good team. Yes, again, it could have been completely different, but again, I think there was something in the air last night. It was almost written in the stars, destined to happen, and it was fantastic to be there and to watch it.
What a moment for young 18-year-old Odin Bailey. Another product that at times in the summer obviously was overshadowed by the hype surrounding Jude Bellingham, which is fully deserved. But Odin, 18 himself, has burst onto the scene as well, and I think he's made his mark last night, has he not?
I think he's fantastic. I've said for quite a few games now that he almost needs to be starting ahead of some of our more experienced strikers. His performance is almost instantaneous. How good he is, the quality that he possesses, his eye for a ball, his eye for a run. His football intelligence is definitely there, and that you can't learn that. That's natural.
No.
So I think he's definitely another player. Like, we've got so many that are coming through the ranks that are incredibly talented, but he is definitely up there with Jude. I'm going to throw caution to the wind now, and I'm going to say it, and I might get slated for it. maybe a few times this season I'd put him in over Duke.
I mean, I was about to say he was taken off for Duke before their goal, I believe it was. The substitutions worked, I think, last night as well. He brought Gary Gardner on for Jude. I think Jude started to tire around the 17th minute. He's 16. His legs are still developing. Understandable. Odin comes on for Duke himself. I thought that the subs were spot on as well. I thought he knew that the height at times wasn't working. Funnily that we scored with a header, but I think he knew that bringing another technical player on could add us something. Obviously, again, another credit has to go to Pep for that one, doesn't it?
Yeah, very, very, very smart moves from Pep. His substitutes were absolutely spot on last night. To bring Gary Gardner on, it was almost not shutting up shop, but we were having a bit more experience in there to almost help Sunjic dictate the play and bring it back in, because Middlesbrough were beginning to get a little bit on top of us. Jude was tired, bless him, and he needed to come off.
Yeah.
Duke is not effective up there with Jimenez. I'm really sorry, I have to say it, and I love him. He's not effective up there with Jimenez. He needs a striker with him, like Shea Adams, almost maybe like Odin, that they can work well together as a team. The way that him and Shea played was perfect for him. He's not a lone striker, and he can't play with a striker that is like himself.
Yeah.
And that's no fault of him. That's just his style of play.
Yeah.
And we can't almost dictate play around one player now. Jimenez has been great, but yeah, I think the decision was right from Pep to take Duke off. He wasn't really getting much of the ball. They were bullying him again, and it just wasn't the night for Duke. But Odin definitely made his mark, and long may it continue.
I agree. So quickly, just to finish up, obviously on what was a fantastic evening, I want to know your match ratings, and obviously leave your match ratings down below, please, guys, so that we can see how you fared, obviously, and what you think as well.
Camp 7.
Okay.
Collan 8.5, Roberts 8. Dean 7.5, Pedersen 8, and then along the midfield we've got Villalba 8.5 for me, Bellingham 8, Sunjic 8.5, Crowley 8.5, and then Jimenez and Duke I would give both 7, maybe 7.5. Odin I'd give a 7.5 for his impact. Magoma came on.
Thought he did okay as well.
He did okay. I'd give him a 6.5 just because there wasn't enough of him. Yeah.
Not his fault though.
No, and Gardner I'd give him a 7 as well because you know.
I'd probably look something similar. I think Camp did okay. A couple of fumbles, but much better last night.
Much better.
I'd give a 7.
He was booed.
Yeah, I don't understand
when the team sheet came out, and
it was poor. His name was announced and he got booed. It's not on. You don't boo your players at the start of the game. It's not on. But I'd go with a 7. I'm going a little bit lower for scores than you.
I just get excited.
I know. I'd go with an 8 for Collan. He was my joint man of the match. But obviously we'll get into that a little bit later. In fact, no. I'll go with an 8.5 for Collan. I think it's fair. Across the back, we're going to go with a 7.5 for Roberts and 7 for Dean. 7 for Pedersen. Pedersen didn't do anything wrong, just a little bit quiet at times, but that's fine. He was very consistent.
See, that's where opinions are so beautiful, and that's why we love the channel, because I completely differ in opinion with that to you, but that's something that we definitely can debate in the comments.
Yeah, please do. Across the midfield, Crowley was an 8 for me. It was excellent again last night, and obviously we're going to have put some stats earlier on so that you've seen some of his stats. I think 5 chances created last night is outrageous. Sunjic was my joint man of the match with Colin with an 8.5. Jude gets an 8 from me, was excellent in that midfield. Villalba gets an 8 as well, was absolutely outstanding last night. And Duke and Jimenez about a 7 for both of them. Jimenez really impressing me at the minute with his work rate and his first touch. Just needs to add a couple more goals, needs to be in the right place at the right time, but it's going to come, I can see it from him. And Duke again was much better last night than he has been in previous games. But we need to try and find a role that suits all of them. But they're working on that. But let us know, obviously, what your thoughts are in the comments down below, guys. Let us know your thoughts on last night's game, all the talking points that we've gone through in the episode. Don't forget to go and check out Charlie's written pieces on last night's player ratings and his match reaction. He is writing some excellent pieces at the minute, so go and show him some love over there. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe on the channel so you don't miss any of it. Emily, that is all from myself. Anything from you to add at the end of this?
My man of the match is, or men of the match should I say, I'd give it to Crowley and Villalba.
Crowley and Villalba.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Outstanding performance, a great team performance last night, guys, and long may it continue. We go on to Leeds away in 2 weeks' time after the international break. That's one to look forward to, guys, but don't forget, obviously, you can catch all the match reaction, match preview here, and all the podcasts. We will have a podcast over the international break, so don't forget to look out for that one, guys. But that's all from me. Thank you so much for joining me again, and we will see you after the international break, guys. Keep right on.
Keep right on.